Have you ever gotten lost playing worship music or playing in the band and you're chugging along, all of a sudden you don't know where you are? And this is especially prone to happen when you're memorizing chords. You know, for us, when we're doing our worship and leading worship now, most of us are trying to memorize our scores because, you know, we're videotaping the thing, live streaming the thing, and we don't want, you know, a bunch of music stands to show up. But what happens if all of a sudden, oh no, you lost track of where you are in the piece? From my experience of playing piano, it has happened to me so many times, but I have a trick to get through them, and that trick is going to allow you to sort of pretend that you know where you are while you try to remember what chord it is. So I'm going to teach that to you today. And this trick is not just a way to get through something. This is actually a really good way to voice your chords. It's a really contemporary, especially suited for worship. So I'm going to show you that today, and hopefully you find this helpful. And as always, I'm going to have sheets and scores and PDF for you available on my Patreon page. If you don't know, I have a Patreon page, and you can support me there. And by supporting me, you can get access to all the sheet music that I have for you and all the practice that I prepared for you today. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy content like this. Let's take a look. Okay, so what do we do when we are lost in our piece? Very simple. I'm just going to go straight to it. What you need to do is you just need to find two notes and just keep playing that with your right hand until you find your chord. Okay, and this is going to be you're not going to sound like you are lost. You're not going to sound like you have absolutely no clue where you are, and that's the beauty of this. And just go right into it. The two notes that you need to find, and you need to familiarize you need to make yourself familiar with these two notes in every single piece that you play, so that you can always go back to this, right? Say for example, if you're in C key, the notes that we're looking at is C and G. Basically, what we need to remember is the 1 and the 5 of the key. The 1 and the 5 of the key. And whenever you get lost, you just play those two notes, and then you just take your time until you find where you are in your score or by listening to it. And the good thing about this is when you play these two notes, it works with any chord. So you're not going to crash with anybody. You're not going to sound odd. You're not going to sound like you're at a wrong place. And you just keep hammering those away until you find the right notes. So let me show you some examples. I'm just going to pull up some worship songs, and I'm just going to show you how, if you don't know what the chords are, you can still just find a key and then find the 1 and 5 and just play through them, and then until you get the chord that you're at. Okay, so let's take a look here. So if we say this is There Is a King by Elevation Worship, let's take a look at this. We'll just go somewhere in the middle of the song. Here we go. Just find the key. So we're in G flat. So where's the 1 and the 5? The 1 and the 5 are these. And you don't know what the chords are, you got lost. What you need to do is just play those until you find your place. So it might sound something like this, right? And then you just sort of find your score. For example, you remember now. We're in the chorus. It's a 4 chord. And you see my right hand hasn't changed at all. It doesn't really sound odd. Of course, it sounds simple. But it's better than playing wrong chords. You can change it down here. So we're going to the first now, I think. Let's say you don't remember what the chords are. Okay, so we're not going to the verse. So this is like a little instrumental. But you see, I haven't changed any of my voicings. It doesn't crash with anything at all. We're back to the verse. So hopefully you saw, like, even though I didn't know that there was an instrumental there, but I still was able to sort of just manage my way through and not really make a mess out of it, and I just came back whenever I can, and I haven't changed. This is these two notes. It's just the 1 and the 5, or the 5 and the 1, like that. Let's try another one. Let's try, say, let's do Waymaker. I don't know. Let's do a short one. Here it is. Well, we're gonna skip the ad first. Another ad. Okay, this is the Passion version. I haven't looked this up before, but let's find the key. So we're in the key of D. So the 1 and the 5 in the key of D is D and A. And say you got lost and you need to play. Okay, what chord am I on? I think it's the 5 chord and the 6. The 1. I forgot what the chords are, but the chords are actually exactly the same. But let's just say I forget. And because you have the bass player, you have the band playing with you. If you have, musicians playing with you, it's not going to sound too bad. Come back when you can. And I hope you saw that not only do those two notes work with any chord, basically, especially in pop and worship, in contemporary music, it actually sounds not bad. Later on, when I was playing that, later on in the song, I actually added a couple notes in it, but my chord is still the 1 and 5, and I believe that's why this tip is so useful. Is that not only it helps you get past those sticky situations, but it's also very nice sounding. It's very contemporary. It's very it fits into the worship style, the pop style, really, really well. So that's why I really like it. How you can use it is not only just 1 and 5 very simply like this. This is one way you can use it. It gives you a very open, very simple sounding sort of accompaniment style. But you can add 1 note or 2 notes to it to make it a little bit nicer. So when we were at the Waymaker song, I added some notes into my my chord voicings. This is D chord. I added this note. I added C sharp. So you can use the 1 and a 5 and then add like 1 or 2 notes in it to make it sound a little bit better. And it's gonna make your chord sounds a lot more contemporary. And this is like a similar concept to the drone voicing. This is basically where it comes from. The idea is basically you can use 2 notes, 1 and 5, and you can use it as a drone. The other good thing about it is when you're playing with other people, what you can do is you can take the 1 and 5, you can just add an octave, double it up like this, and then by playing like this and then putting the bass note here, what you do is you make a very, very full sound without clouding up too much. And if you have a guitar player playing with you, or if you have the band playing with you, then you're going to leave them enough room, but you're not going to lose too much power, by giving them room. And you still have a lot of power. You're still going to cut through into the mix. So if I play a little bit more. Octave with a note in the middle here. So the band is going strong already, but I'm still hurt. Well, right now I'm playing over him. But you see how simple this is. I'm not changing anything. So I think this is why this is so powerful, and if you're a worship pianist, you absolutely need to know this. Make sure you know where the 1 and the 5 is in all your songs, in all your keys, and just make sure you whip it out whenever you get lost. And even if you're not lost, this is going to sound so good. It's going to sound very simple. It's going to sound very contemporary for you. I urge you, it's actually pretty simple to do. Just go find a 1 and 5 in all your keys, practice those. What I've done for you is I have typed out some of those songs that I was just playing and also a couple more extra ones, worship songs, and I have written out how the 1 and the 5 fits in the chord progression, so you can practice that. And I also wrote a couple of different accompaniment styles using those 1 and 5, and also how you can add a note in it, how you can add the octave in it to make it sound cooler, and I also typed that out into the score. So make sure you grab those if from my Patreon page. If you want to support me there, you can grab those scores from there and practice it. But if not, then you can still take this concept, apply into your pieces, and see what you can do with it. So hopefully this 2-note voicing tip is going to help you through when you forget your chords in the middle of the worship set, or when you're playing with your band members, you forget where you are. This 2-note voicing is going to help you while you buy time to figure out what chords you're at or find where you are in the sheet music. Again, this is not just a tip to get through those moments you forget. There's also a great tip or a great voicing technique to get that sort of modern worship vibe of things. So make sure you practice those. Go find the 1 and 5 in the key and practice them, and try to incorporate them in your playing as much as you can. Again, the scores and everything that I've talked about today is going to be available on my Patreon page. You can support me there, and also like and follow the channel if this is kind of content that's helpful to you, or you enjoy watching these videos. I have music coming out regularly on this channel too, so you can take a listen to those. Hopefully you will find them to be enjoyable, and I'll hopefully see you next week in another video.